The two biggest movies of the year are Mario Brothers and Barbie. And a lot of people in celebrating, we talked about it the other day, that this is the first time in over 20 years that the top three movies of the box office do not have a sequel in them. Original films. But the topic of today's Mint Mobile Hotline question of the day is, should we consider these things as originals? And that is, as I said, today's Mint Mobile Hotline question of the day. Listen, guys, if you have a topic or a question for the show and would like to hear your voice on our show, go ahead and call our hotline number anytime 24/7 at 951-268-4259. Every day we pick out one or two questions to address. And again, today is Barbie and Mario even original films? Check it out.
Hey, John and Cruz. I'm calling about the top grossing movies of the year and how they're continuously called original in their theatrical success. A movie like Barbie and a movie like Mario are both based on iterations of an IP that has been used for 30 to 50 years or more. So I wonder, is it not just that the content itself was an original script for 2023, but how it is compared overall to the fact that it is a valuable IP that has been marketed and used for generations and generations. Thanks for taking my question, and don't have a good day. Have a great one.
All right, man. Thanks a lot for calling that in. And yeah, look, before the movie Barbie came out, I think it's fair to say many of us have heard of Barbie. Before the Super Mario Brothers movie came out, I think it is fair to say that all of us have heard of Mario Brothers. As a matter of fact, there was a Mario Brothers movie. None of us like to talk about it. Nintendo certainly doesn't like us to talk about it. Happened many years ago, but still that was there. And it is their world famous IPs that generations know about. So how on earth are they called original films? Well, I totally get the question. Because, I've wondered it too, but I am firmly on the side that yes, these are original films and they are fairly called those because look, even if we look at the definition for what would be considered an adaptation, is it based on a previous work? And the reality is, while there is a thing called Barbie and a thing called Mario Brothers, neither the Mario Brothers movie nor the Barbie movie were based on any previous work. It's not like there was a novel of Barbie or an original cartoon that followed that storyline or an original, piece of something that of Mario Brothers that followed storyline. It was an adaptation of that or a follow-up to something like that. It is quite literally, granted, you might want to put a little bit of an asterisk on that because it was not original like Avatar was original, right, Rob? Because there was no Na'vi, there was nothing that had ever existed with that IP, right?
Right.
Other than maybe Dances with Wolves. But aside from that, or Fern Gully, as some people.
But Dances with Wolves was based on a book.
Yeah, it was. And here's the thing: Barbie is a purely original work. Yes, the plastic doll Barbie existed, but that had nothing to do with the story, the movie, whatever. It was a purely original work. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. Signing your life away to a big wireless provider is kind of like being trapped on a roller coaster from hell. Sure, it looks like fun at first. They probably even threw in a free phone, but now you can't get off. Month after month of insane bills and unexpected thrills, like overages and surprise fees. If that sounds like your current big wireless plan, it's time to get off the ride with Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are just $15 a month. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for just $15 a month. You guys know before I came to Mint Mobile, I was paying triple what I am paying now on the standard big wireless plan, and I will never go back. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped right to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. So, Rob, I could see the debate. I can see the question. And I don't necessarily think people who take the position that it's not an original work are wrong. I'm just saying, for me, where I'm at right now, I look at this and I say, you know what? It checks all the boxes for what is an original work. I believe it is fair to call both Mario and Barbie original movies, even though it's a little bit different than some others who would be considered. How would you look at that?
Well, look, Look at the Academy Awards. You have an original screenplay or best adapted screenplay.
Right.
I think if there hasn't been something in the medium of motion pictures, it's an original motion picture. It doesn't matter if it's derived from a previously existing IP. If it's a movie and it's the first time, like there's never been a Barbie movie before. So, and if you look at everything, it's one thing to have a line of dolls. It's a whole different thing to have a movie with a plot, with situations and locations and actors, and there's so much more that's involved in making a movie than making a toy line. It's a very different thing. So I would say that you have to consider a movie like Barbie an original film, but of course it's based on a previously existing IP, but as a motion picture, it's original. Just like I think any adaptation of a great literary work, there's been how many movies based on books? Thousands. And I would consider them like, To Kill a Mockingbird. Gregory Peck's To Kill a Mockingbird, that he stars in, that's an original film. The Shawshank Redemption, Little Women, take your pick.
But even for those, you can make the argument that for those, they are adaptations of previously existing works, stories.
But they are original films.
Sure.
The adaptation, that's how I would define it, that the medium of motion pictures is itself different enough from some other IP that as a motion picture, it's an original movie.
So, like the movies you just listed off, To Kill a Mockingbird, in the Oscars, those would be under the category, in the Oscar categories of screenwriting, those would fall under the adapted screenplay thing. So you would consider even things that qualify as adapted screenplay as purely original
as a movie, because he asked for original movies. The medium of motion pictures is different than books. It's different from plays. Sometimes they've even they've taken the title of a rock song,
that's true,
and then made a movie out of that. And I would say that it's an original film. Maybe it's splitting hairs, but you can't say that there's never been a Barbie movie before. So it's an original movie.
See, I take it even one step further than that, because I look at it as like, To Kill a Mockingbird, things like that, Da Vinci Code, based on a book. The Barbie movie was not based on anything, right? There was no previous cartoon that followed the storyline of the Kens taking over Barbie Land or the particular story that so it was, you had a thing, but there was no work around that thing that this movie is an adaptation of. So and that's why I'm saying I agree it's a little bit of a gray area, and I think you're right, Rob. It's a little bit of splitting hairs, but that's why I would fall on that side of it.
Well, even Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet.
Yes.
Based on Shakespeare's play, but Shakespeare's play didn't have a Prince song in it, and it wasn't set, Verona was not Mexico City or something, and so it was a very different and unique, and I would dare say original take on Shakespeare's work. So you can have, even though it's an adaptation, it's certainly a very original kind of an adaptation. It's not a direct adaptation.
You know what I thought was one of the most creative things in that movie? Because in Baz Luhrmann's version, they still follow the text.
Yes.
Of Shakespeare, right? That means the dialogue is all there. I still remember the one that made me go, wow, was when they went, they get to the thing about draw your swords.
Right.
And they have guns, but the brand name of the gun was sword.
Yeah.
So it's like they found a way to make it perfectly fit with the text of it. Again, that is an adaptation movie, but it is a wildly original adaptation movie.
Right. So, and that wasn't even the first time you got Zeffirelli's traditional adaptation. So it's an interesting question.
All right. Thank you again for calling in that question. Don't forget, guys, if you have a topic or question you'd like to hear it on it, go ahead and call our hotline number at the number that we had up there a little bit earlier, 951-268-4259. Hey, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.